Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series between Infi and Th000. Both of the players opting to, you know what, let me double check that. They were both playing random. Alright, so Infi and Th000, random versus random. Infi spawning as the blue undead on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Th000 spawning as the purple undead on the top right. Undead versus undead, game 1 in this series, and hopefully this will be a good series. Perhaps two of the biggest names still in WarCraft 3 duking it out, going head to head. Now I am going to speed this up into 8x speed just to get things underway, and I am wondering, it is going to be a Death Knight coming in from Th000. Meanwhile, are we seeing a Death Knight as well? Yes, it is going to be Death Knight versus Death Knight. I was curious about that because it is not uncommon to see Lich first. Lich first in a Death Knight versus Death Knight matchup, very, very common. Since you are unable to hero nuke the other hero with your Death Knight, the Lich almost becomes the stronger hero since it can focus down units. Death Knight now on its way around the map here, and both sides, what are they doing? They're actually going about a yin-yang style, making their way out across the map, trying to find each other, and it looks like Infi is going to be inside the base of Th000 fairly quickly. Death Knight of Th000 now, excuse me, needs to head back, as we can now see that there is a bit of aggression inside the main base. Ghouls are coming over to engage. There is a Nerubian tower, and using the skeletal minions at the graveyard, using the skeletons at your opponent's graveyard, a very, very interesting strategy there as the acolytes are trying to just run around. This is extremely bad news, as you can see a whole bunch of damage being dealt. Skeletal minions now trying to chase down some of these acolytes. Acolytes look like they will get taken down as a Crypt Fiend. Oh, a Crypt Fiend able to pull aggro away, and also, interestingly enough, the time life just pulling the unit away just in time. All right, acolyte after acolyte, now trying to run for the hills. There are still 5 acolytes on the field right now, as the Death Knight is currently stuck inside the base. Skeletal minions still making a bit of a run inside here, as the ghouls are now trying to fight back. Acolytes trying to make their way through, and yes, going to attach themselves back onto this haunted gold mine. Meanwhile, down over here, what is Infi doing? Infi is opting to creep out his opponent's creep camp. Very, very interesting strategy. Very different concepts in terms of what you really want to be doing at this point, as the skeletal minions taking a lot of damage, but because of the death coils constantly healing them, they are not falling. This is extremely bad news for these acolytes, as the acolytes are still trying to get away. This acolyte finally, oh no, does not get taken down. Wow, that attack was from the other side, and still able to make that play there, as the Death Knight is sitting at level 2. All right, let's take a look at the gold. 20 over 30 supply compared to 22 over 30. Both of them are about even in terms of supply. The difference is going to be that the Death Knight here cannot easily get to level 2. He's already lost a good amount of creeps on his side of the map. Meanwhile, we're going to be playing a little bit of catch-up here, as the Death Knight now needs to make his way over and get to level 2. You can see that Death Knight has taken a fair bit of damage, down to 200 hit points. Th000's Death Knight sitting at level 2 may actually even get to level 3 here, as he picks up a Wand of Illusion, and now looking to clear out this Forest Troll creep camp. Forest Troll creep camp going to fall very, very easily. Last Troll Trapper is all that is left. Meanwhile, the Death Knight now making his way into the center, sitting at 510 some odd hit points, regenerating slowly, as he is now, just now, getting into Halls of the Dead. Halls of, excuse me, Halls of the Dead. Allowing for tier 2. The Death Knight now trying to make a bit of a play, trying to take down some units, able to do exactly that, and you can see him just causing so many problems. The Death Knight of wow, I may have eaten something that I'm allergic to. Oh wow, why am I so coffee today? Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look back at this. The Death Knight now wandering around, seeing that level 3 against the level 2. That little bit of experience is going to help him out in the long run, but the rest of the blue army is chasing Th000. Th000 needs to get away. What is he going to be doing? He's now double backing around. He might end up getting surrounded if he is not careful. As you see, more units getting in some additional damage here. Death Knight still doing a bit of chasing. As you can now see, the Crypt Fiends are still creeping away and giving that Death Knight more and more experience. The Death Knight still trying to get away, down to 180 hit points, but he will survive and continue to be strong. Coming back around, Lich is out on the field. Let's take a look. Halls of the Dead about 2/3 of the way completed. Quite some time before a Lich is going to make his way out for Th000. And Th000 now needs to press his hero advantage to make sure that he doesn't fall behind in tech. He has that tech advantage, or he has the hero advantage right now. The opponent has tech advantage, which equates to an additional hero at this point, which is going to hurt. That additional hero gonna get to a higher level much more quickly. So if we see a level 3 and a level 1 hero against a level 3, level 2, that may end up unfolding here. Infi is doing his best job to protect that Lich and keep that Lich alive, make sure that it doesn't take too much damage. Meanwhile, Th000 needs to play this very, very carefully. None of the units here actually have suffered enough damage to warrant a death coil as of yet, which is perhaps the bit of an issue. Are we going to see a death coil now onto the Ogre Magi? Yes, we do. A beautiful steal there, long distance, but unable to pick up the item as the Crypt Fiends may be forced to turn around. All right, there's another Troll Trapper. Gonna go ahead and get some exchange, some damage there. Lich and Death Knight, level 2 and level 1 against a level 3 Death Knight. And we are now going into Black Citadel, completely bypassing the training of the second hero. All right, the Death Knight has to play this very, very carefully. I don't believe he's going to go for a Tavern. You do not want to give your opponent a free target to Death Coil Frost Nova, especially if your Death Knight is getting so close to level 3 already. If the opponent's Death Knight is at level 3, Death Coil Frost Nova can do nearly 300 damage in an instant. And that is pretty much going to be instantaneous death for any intelligence-based level 1 hero if it has been in a fight for longer than 10 seconds. Back around, you can see that the illusion is keeping track of this army here. Lich picking up a Tome of Intelligence, and we are now at level 3, level 2. This is Th000's worst nightmare at this point. He needs to figure out how to continue to press his level advantage, as he is not training up a second hero. All right, no second hero as of yet. The Death Knight now being brought over. And are the Crypt Fiends going to perhaps try and take down some easy targets? That is the question here. Crypt Fiends now going after the Nerubian Tower as the skeletal minions are rushing to take down the Acolytes. All right, this could be very, very bad news. Death Knight may be forced to heal up a Crypt Fiend here in just a moment. Where is the Death Coil? There it is. There's the Death Coil as one Crypt Fiend does go down. Death Knight now reaches level 4. Meanwhile, on the other end of the map, you see level 3 and level 2 heroes pushing inside. Squirrel Town Portal now coming in to head back home and protect. Death Knight needs to run away, and he runs straight into the group here. Frost Nova onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now trying to get away, taking a beating from the rest of the units as the Death Knight is going to scamper, scurry, and head back home. Skeletal minions still disrupting a little bit of mining here. It looks like one Acolyte is missing, and that Acolyte quickly makes it back onto the gold mine, now harvesting 600 gold a minute. Let's take a look at things. Overall stance, Lich just now making his way out. Slaughterhouse is on the board and has taken a serious bit of damage already. 112 hit points is left. Orb of Corruption and Rod of Necromancy for Th000, as the Death Knight is really looking to clear out and get more levels. This Death Knight sitting at level 4, trying to get to level 5, has +6 stats on everything. So this Death Knight, for all intents and purposes of stat levels, is most likely level 6. That is how strong each of those circlets of nobility end up becoming. +6 stats across the board. Is it going to be given to the Lich? Yes, it is. And that Lich now, sitting at 625 hit points, is going to really enjoy a lot of Frost Nova. As you can see, the stats on that Lich, it does seem much higher. Wouldn't you agree? 700 or 625 hit points. It looks like the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength given to the Death Knight in order to survive. This may be the fight which tells the outcome of the game. Death Knight at level 3, Lich sitting at level 2 against a level 4, level 1. And here we go. Here is the pressure. Death Knight now running in. Dark Ranger is nearby as well. And here comes the game. Death Knight already taking a fair bit of damage. Now trying to back off here. One Crypt Fiend does go down. Death Knight needs to heal up some more. There's only one Obsidian statue as we still see more attacking. All right, Dark Ranger was picked up by Th000 as well. So both sides having a Dark Ranger Lich Death Knight combo trio, as the Lich now needs to be very, very careful. All right, Lich now pulling back here, takes a Frost Nova, but you can see that because of the extra hit points on that Lich from the Circlets of Nobility, it really changed things up. That Lich really didn't look like it took much damage at all, as it is now chasing after. All right, this Lich sitting at 575 hit points compared to this Lich 625, a 1 level difference in the other direction. Still not enough, as this Lich is looking extremely strong at this stage in the game. All right, Lich has to be very careful here. Second Obsidian statue, Death Knight and Lich coming back in from the other side. Dark Ranger now putting in pressure. All right, this Crypt Fiend down to 136 hit points. It doesn't look like it will be saved. No, not saved in time, as the silence went down on Th000's Death Knight. A little bit of game of cat and mouse on both sides here, as they're both attacking. And what is going on as the Death Knight now trying to pull back? All right, Death Knight trying to pull back, and let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, are we going to see another Death Coil? Yes, we do. Death Coil, Lich getting saved just in time. The Death Coil able to be cast as the Lich, even though he was still silenced. Death Knight, oh, Frost Nova from the Lich gets the kill, and Th000 gets first blood in terms of the heroes. All right, this Death Knight chases after the Crypt Fiend. However, this could be very, very bad news. There is a second Frost Nova, and is the Death Knight going to get the kill? Yes, he does. Dark Ranger now turns back around, and we see the Death Knight falling at level 3. Th000 is just absolutely turning the tide of this battle, playing this extremely well, and I think he is going to come out ahead in this game. You can take a look at this. The Crypt Fiends are still doing a little bit of volleying. The Obsidian statue is still healing in the backfield here, but with only one hero for Infi, Infi can... Oh, wait, did he pick up a Dark Ranger? No, Dark Ranger... So this is Death Knight, Lich against Lich Dark Ranger. That Dark Ranger looks like it was it resurrected the old-fashioned way and brought over, perhaps, as the Death Knight now getting resurrected. All right, let's see. Take a look at this. Level 2 on the Dark Ranger now. Death Knight sitting at level 4 for Th000. Infi is sitting at level 3 on the Lich. Level, I believe, 1 on the Dark Ranger. So yes, level 3, level 1 against level 4, 4-2-2 for Th000. Death Knight gonna get to level 5 here very, very easily. Oh, wait, wow. Okay, 13 experience shy. He should be able to get to level 5 here. Now might decide to back off and give more experience to the Lich and the Dark Ranger. That Lich gonna be very close to level 3. Yes, only 4 experience shy, as the Dark Ranger is sitting at level 2. All right, let's take a look down over here. Obsidian statue fighting his way through, but I believe Infi is pretty much up the creek without a paddle. He's going to be coming and playing from behind. 50 supply over 60 compared to 47 over 50. Also, if you take a look, Th000 has a much larger bank, 800, almost 900 gold in the bank, compared to his opponent, who is just now getting up to 300 gold and is still about 3 supply behind. So trading up another Crypt Fiend, and you are about 1k gold behind right now, a minute and a half behind if you try to equate it to actual seconds. All right, let's take a look at this. Dark Low, Jangle of Endurance. That is going to be a big item on the Dark Ranger. Faster movement speed and attack speed. That is going to turn out to be a huge, huge item when it comes to chasing, as this destroyer is going to get destroyed if it's not careful. All right, here we go. There's a bit of an engagement. -5 armor, taking an additional 27% damage. Back over here, skeletal minions are just rushing inside to take down some of these acolytes, as the acolytes are now fighting back with the help of a couple of ghouls. All right, it looks like the acolytes are getting all into position, and oh, the acolyte goes back to its position only to get killed. A little bit of a misstep there, as the acolyte will now be forced to be retrained. All right, let's take a look. Infi still in a rather good spot, does have healing wards. Is he going to be able to finish off this creep camp and get enough of a hero level 4 on the Death Knight, and perhaps even level 4 on the Death Knight, and maybe level 3 on the Dark Ranger. No, not going to be close enough, as they are now just running for the hills. All right, Obsidian Statue getting absolutely pummeled by those destroyers. Down it goes, as the Death Knight still leading the charge here. A little bit of ensnare going, or web now going down onto all of the destroyers. The destroyers unable to do any more chasing, as the Dark Ranger now launching this attack back. The problem is he has to walk back, or he is now walking further and further away from his base, has no easy access there, as the Lich now falls. Lich falls at level 3, and there is the GG. Infi losing game 1, Th000 taking game 1 in an impressive fashion. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.